What is up, ladies and gents? It's your boy Lou Streets, and we are back with another video. And I've been seeing people crash out over the season 2 patch notes and some of the changes. Basically, to me, it's like this. I'm a Dragon Ball FighterZ player, and this is how they balance Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's pretty much make everybody cracked. So I know everybody kind of having a heart attack about what's going on, but pretty much I am playing Tekken Ball FighterZ now. So what I want to do is I want to review all the changes for Law visually, just to see what's different and check out some of the frame changes as well. As you see, we got Anna on screen. Let me press the button again. We have Anna on screen. It is a new season. It is live. It is time to rock and roll. And I gotta say, even though I don't play Anna, she looks pretty fucking gorgeous, so I might mess around with her. But let's check out these visual changes for Law. As we see, we get the rank reset from Tekken King back to Fujin. I didn't realize they take away so much Tekken prowess as well, from 236k down to 178k. So it's time for a new season, but let's get into it. All right, so let's check this out. It says, for the balanced direction of Law in season 2, Law received improvements to the control responsiveness of Dragon Charge, along with an expansion of offensive options using the Nunchuck-based attacks. In season 1, Dragon Charge was more difficult to use compared to other character stances, making it relatively challenging to utilize effectively in both neutral gameplay and combos. To address this, when transitioning into Dragon Charge after a move, you can now input a command slightly before your recovery ends to perform the move through input buffering. Okay, so they're pretty much saying, like, for instance, like if I was doing like 4-3, yeah, see, I can feel that. Just me matching it came out quicker. So like sometimes you be doing like 4-3, Dragon Charge and the flying kick, and it'll come out late. So basically saying, I'm just pressing it much more earlier now. Like if I was doing it different than this move, like, I get what it's saying now. So basically they're saying you can press the DSS move earlier. Dragon Charge is what they call DSS in Tekken 8. We just call it DSS out of habit. So what else does it say? These changes lowers the execution difficulty and should provide more consistency in combos that previously felt challenging. Additionally, it is now possible to perform heat bursts during Dragon Charge, but when heat activation is available, with the introduction of input buffering during Dragon Charge. The move while rising forward has been rebalanced accordingly. I did see that. I think they nerfed it somewhat. New additions in season 2 include nunchuck-based moves down forward 1-2 and up forward 1-2. These new techniques are enhanced during heat, making it easier for Law to apply aggressive pressure. Additionally, both down forward 1-2 and up forward 1-2 now call strong aerial tailspin, a property that they previously lacked, making them effective tools and combos as well. So let's see what they are. Down forward 1-2. All right, that's that. And up for a 1-2. And then it said popping heat and Dragon Charge. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. So like if I'm doing like pressure, like, so I'm like, oh yeah, I like that a lot. All right, let's see what these visual changes are for each move. So I do like that because it would be times when I would do like a DSS setup and then some would hit on counter and I wouldn't expect it to, and I would just be stuck right there. Or maybe they didn't swing and they may pop their heat and I couldn't pop mine. So I'm glad that they made that change. So let's go through all the moves one by one. I'm not gonna go too in depth with this, but I wanna get a visual representation of all the changes and what the new moves are. All right, so the next move that we have is the Gale Claw. Up forward 2, that is +9 on hit if in heat. 21 on hit, and it has knockdown, so something like this with OTG. I don't think you can pick it off the ground. Let me see. Yeah, you can't pick it off the ground like you need the combo OTG, but this is the thing that's dope about it, is when you do OTG Nunchuck, you see you get meter back for that. Every time you land Nunchuck, you get meter back. So imagine you pretty much hit somebody with this, get OTG off the ground. Wait, do both of them get it? Oh wow, up forward 2 gets it as well. So you get back double meter if you land this. And it's auto knockdown anyway. Okay, so that's what that is. We have Gale Claw. I like that move. It got decent range. Look at the range on this. Look at the range, and it's pretty fast. Look at the range. That's almost over half screen, right? And even when it's not even in heat, it's still, and it's wall splat. Oh my God. Oh yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I like the up forward too. That's really, really valuable. I'm gonna have fun with that one. All right, so the next move that we got is the Blast Claw. We saw this in the trailer back in the day when they were talking about new moves. So down for a 1-2, +9 on hit, does 37 damage. Let's see what it does in heat. Knockdown, but that's not OTG, that's not free. It does wall splat though, and you get meter back on it. So wall splat like that, yeah, I'm not mad at that. That's gonna be so crazy to have a wall splat nunchuck and heat that gains back. And if you are on wall, so think about this. If in this scenario, if you had this and you go this, that, I'm getting meter for all 3 of those nunchuck hits and still getting decent damage with 69 damage. But more importantly, if you're trying to conserve meter, letting your nunchuck fly just gets you crazy meter build back up. All right, so we got that. We got the down forward 1-2. Let's move to the next move. Okay, so next we have the FF3, which is the move that replaced Dragon Cannon. This is called the Dragon Divide. Hard knockdown, OTG. Is that true, OTG? I think so. Let's see if it does anything special in heat. Let's see if it does anything special in heat. Nah, it does the same thing in heat because we had, here we go, +7 on the ground. OTG, I guess Oki, you look like that. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Okay, I'm not mad at that move. Not nothing too spectacular. Kind of surprised they took that away for Dragon Charge as far as Dragon Cannon. But I mean, I'm not mad at it. It's nice to have a new move because it don't take nothing but a split second to go into DSS 3 if you really want to use that anyway. Or you can go into DSS 3 off that. So I mean, it really don't change that much, you know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with this. So this is FF3, the new move. It gives you Oki and +7 on hit. Okay. All right, then we got Heat Burst and Dragon Charge. So, you know, just DSS into heat. So same difference if I do 4-3 into that. And you seem to be able to pop it early, right? Like, pop it early off all your transitions. F3-1, pop it like that. While standing 3, pop it like that. I mean, there's so many different ways to pop it. That's probably why they might have nerfed that. Since they put that into DSS stance, that might be why they nerf while standing 4 by 3 frames. That could be a tricky part too, but okay, I'm not mad at that. So pretty much we just got more options to go into Heat Burst, which I showed earlier, but I wanted to show some of the transitions you would potentially use it in. So pretty much we have Heat Burst out of DSS, or Dragon Charge as they call it now. Let's move to the next move. Okay, so I couldn't figure out what this was at first when I was looking at the move list, but now that I have it in my hand, this is probably one of the best changes that they've made, and I'm glad they made this because it's very easy to forget this in battle. So down back 1+2 into 1 is this. I don't know if you guys recognize this move or not. That was the old sidestep 1+2, but the problem is when you want a nunchuck, you would sidestep and you would get that move when you want a nunchuck punish. So what you have to do is you have to sidestep and either pull back or forward, then do your nunchuck, which is easy to do when you're practicing, but kind of hard to remember in battle. So now they've made it where you can sidestep in the nunchuck, which is a great quality of life change. And if you want to do this move instead, down back 1-2-1. That's a really, really great change. Now, as far as you people who may not have used this move, one of my favorite routes to use this move in, you couldn't do DSS 3 first, but it'd be great for wall splat. So it'd be like a combo like this. That right there. So you see that do 100 damage. So now just don't use your DSS 3 when you're in like a wall scenario and you do down back 2+1 and 1 and you get that. I love that change. I was looking at this earlier and it said before it was during sidestep 1+2 1, and I couldn't figure out what it was trying to say. Now I understand there's just changing the move, and what it does is it gives you more access to your nunchuck. So now when you're in heat and you do sidestep punish, you build meter with that. You know what I'm saying? That is such a quality of life change. I don't know, for the people who may not play Law, you may not be familiar with this, but it would be so frustrating to try to sidestep a move and get a nunchuck punish, especially if you was in heat and trying to get a big combo and you would get this instead. So pretty much it was like this in the past. You like that, and it would make you do that. But now with the change, you can go sidestep nunchuck and then use this down back 2-1. Okay, I like that a whole lot. That is a great change. I'm so glad that's probably my happiest change I've seen so far. I'm so glad that they did that. That's great. Okay, so this change is for a use that I don't use that much. It's the up back 1+2-2. And so it says adjust the opponent's behavior on the hit of 4th hit. Change to a natural combo up to the 4th hit when the first hit lands as a counter hit, which is tricky because this don't got a lot of range. You'll just be trying to style if you use this. I wouldn't use it too much. Change the damage distribution from 88828 to 33325, so they nerf the damage. Reduce the opponent's block stun by 7 frames. Changing the frame time advantage on block for the 4th hit from -7 to -14. So now you would get punished for this, if I'm reading this correctly. I think you would get punished for this. It used to be -7, now it's -14. So here's the animation. I never really would use this, especially for a counter hit, because like, look at the range. That range is so short. What would you counter hit this with? I mean, if you counter hit this, you have to be reading something pretty fast. What is it? Startup frames is 12. It's -3 on hit. Yeah, I wouldn't really use this too much, but I'll show it. But I mean, I can't really see me using that. Plus 23 on hit, and it says change the natural to make it. Where's what I'm looking for? Change to a natural combo up to the 4th hit when the first hit lands as a counter hit. Okay, I don't want to slow this video down too much with this one move, but I'm gonna check out what that does mean. But that is kind of tricky because I'm wondering how would I get a combo out of this? Let me set it to counter hit and see what happens. Let's set this to counter hit. Yeah, it's nothing really, there's no real reason to use this. Unless you're just trying to style on somebody, but I don't really see any reason to use that. So I'll probably never use this move anyway. Okay, that's a cool one, like, but yeah, even on counter hit, if I can't get follow up, it's no real reason to use that. Maybe against the wall, you get wall splat. Let's see. I pressed the wrong. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess you get it off that. Yeah, I mean, cool change, but I would never use that move, so it don't matter. All right, let's go to the next move. So the next change is down for a 1, and it says the downward hitbox size has been increased primarily to stabilize behavior when used in combos and in aerial combos. So the point of them doing this is for the new move. For something like that. That's pretty much why they did it. Yeah, they did it for that reason right there. That feels so weird to try to go into that and press what's the name. One more time, one more time. Now you gotta just remember to press. That feels weird to remember to go in a dragon charge off of that manually. You would get used to it, but it does feel strange. Okay. All right, so the next one we have is the F3-1 change. It was made as a buff. It was changed as a buff. Okay, so the next one that we got is the F3-1 changed as a buff. Change the damage from 10-12 and the 12-15 on both attacks. So the first attack is from 10 to 12 and the second attack is 12 to 15. The downward hitbox size of the first attack has been increased primarily to stabilize behavior when used in aerial combos. The downward hitbox of the second attack has been increased primarily to stabilize behavior when used in aerial combos. Okay, so there was like a demo combo that they had like when the game launched. It looked something like this, but it's basically to make these type of combos easier. And I rarely ever use this, but it was for this. That right there. The F1 part right there, this right here, it was just made to make that easier. So when you see people use this, that's just to pretty much make it easier in combo now. Okay, so a slight buff on FF4. The behavior of the opponent on hit has been changed. Recovery time reduced by 1 frame on hit. The opponent's recovery time when blocking has been increased by 1 frame. And the advantage on block has been changed from -11 to -9. So they nerfed it just a tad bit on block. But pretty much, I don't use this move that much. It's more of like a combo extender for me. But I remember back around launch, people would do like FF4 into this parry on block, and they will work. That was a decent setup. I'm sure by now people didn't figure out they raised around that. So I mean, a small buff, but like not that important. But FF4 has just been changed a little bit in frames, and has just been nerfed some on block. But I really don't use this for nothing except combo extension, so not the biggest deal to me. All right, next up we got the F2 1 string, which is known as the 6-inch punch for you guys who don't know. That input, it's kind of hard to do like raw. So you see a lot of people do it like this. But they've changed it somewhat. So the opponent's recovery time on blocking has been increased by 2 frames. I'm glad that they did this because sometimes people would mash on this, and this is one of my DSS setups, so I'm glad that they did this. So it's been increased by 2 frames. The advantage on block has been changed from +2 to +4. When transitioning into Dragon Charge or DSS, the frame advantage has been changed from 5 frames to 6 frames. So I'm happy about that. An extra frame buff, and pretty much they just saying this move like, so this on block or that one on block. But like now when you do it in the DSS, your frames are a little bit better. And you know, with the new changes, take that into heat burst as well to protect yourself. So a small quality of life change, but I like it. I'm glad that they buffed it just a little bit so you can use it a little better. Okay, the next change is the back 1-2-2, but the explanation is a little tricky in regards to what they mean. Only when the second hit lands, the tracking of the third hit has been improved to mitigate instances where it will whiff part way through. Okay, I see what they're saying. So basically they're saying if you was to whiff back 1 and catch 2, then the third is gonna track better. The input window for the second hit has been shortened by 4 frames. The input window for the third hit has been shortened by 7 frames. when they say input window, are they talking about the way that you can stagger this? Because like you can delay, you can do the fast version. That looks the same speed to me. Or you can. The input window has been shortened by 4 frames. I don't get what they mean by the input window has been shortened by 4 or 7 frames, because it still feels like you can stagger it, unless I'm just misinterpreting. But for the most part, move still looks the same. I think that this doesn't give you automatic counter hit on back 1 now. I think you got to hit with the back 2 as well. I think if you hit with the 2 on the second hit and counter hit, then you're guaranteed to get the punish. I could have read that wrong on Twitter somewhere, but I think that's the case, but I'm not certain. Next up, we have during Dragon Charge, they changed the F1 to give it blue perfect. So a powered up version cannot be performed with a perfect input. The recovery frames have been increased by 1 frame. The opponent's recovery time when blocking has been reduced by 1 frame. And the advantage has been changed from -9 to -11 frames on block. The opponent's behavior when using heat dash on hit has been changed. Aerial combos are no longer possible. Only follow-up attacks on a down opponent are allowed. Does this mean what I think it's saying? So are they saying they took this away? Let me see. Let me see something here. Oh, that sucks. Why did they take that away? That's a really weird change. Why did they take that away? Because you got, okay, let me see something. Oh, okay. Because they gave it to Drag, okay. That is a really weird change, because that's not armored, so like that doesn't make sense. But they took the properties of F1 away from its moveset, but then they gave it to Dragon Cannon, so it's the same thing. So I didn't realize that earlier when I did it. So let me see something right quick. Let me see something. So okay, in the past you could have did this. So now what they're saying is if I do this, let me see. So now you got to do a manual DSS into Dragon Cannon to end that, because there's no real other way to end that. What else is there? Let me see. You can go with Stump into a Spike combo. What other options are there for that? I think that's really all there is. And then into Nunchuck. So it's not a lot that you can do. I think the best option, let me see. Even if I did this, what would this do? Oh, well, that gives you 42 damage. Is that true? Yeah, it's got to be true. Let's say 2-hit combo. So you can go. So that only does 40 damage now. So instead, you better off going like this. That's a good way to end, and you still have decent Oki. But now instead, if you want to do like the type of combos that you would have did off that, now you're doing it out of Dragon Charge. That's crazy that they took that away. I'm really surprised that that's gonna take a minute to get used to drop some combos with that. F1 was one of my favorite starters. So now it's like, I'm trying to think how you would set that up, because you have to do it something like that. Because if you do this one, it's just not really worth it now, unless you just pretty much in and around or something like that. That's gonna be a weird change to get used to. I'm shocked by that change. It's a little awkward, but I mean, I guess Dragon Cannon gives you more damage anyway, right? Yeah, Dragon Cannon probably gives you more damage than that alone anyway. So it's a weird change, but I guess it makes sense. Okay, I don't feel like setting the dummy to jab on this, but pretty much they made a change to the back 1-3 parry. So fixing the issue where certain moves cannot be performed upon transitioning into Dragon Charge. Adjusted timing inconsistencies where only specific moves can be executed at different times during Dragon Charge. Applied a 90% damage scaling to combos following a successful parry. So the thing is, a lot of times I used to do this into F1. I used to do this into that. But now that that's gone, because you can't get you still can get a heat engage off that. So it's not the worst thing on earth. It'd only be bad if you already in heat dash and then you do it. Like it would only be bad if you was already in heat and then you parried with back 1+3 and then you went into F1. So now you would just do that with Dragon Cannon. So it's a different change, but I mean, in reality, it doesn't change that much. It's just that now you would do back 1 into that and maybe do DSS 2, which is this, or either doing DSS into a DSS 3, or either DSS in the Dragon Cannon. So now your best bet for like doing that parry is probably like DSS automatic into Dragon Cannon or DSS 2, right? because it ain't really no point to doing F1 if you already in heat, because you can't follow it up. So if you in heat, you can use that. If you're not in heat, then you can just do F1 anyway. So that's a weird change, but okay, like, I was surprised to see that one. All right, so this is one of the changes I was talking about. If you were already in heat and you did 1+2, you get meter back on that. However, if you whiff or miss, it goes from -240 to now -270 on the timer, but then also you get 60 back on hit as well. And it seems they improved the tracking, adjusted its homing performance to match that of 1+2. So in certain situations, only during heat, 1+2 would whiff, adjusted to its homing performance. So the thing is, it used to track to the left, but it would whiff to the right. So I wonder if they buffed it to actually hit going to the right as well. All right, so we got that one. I don't want to change the dummy for every single option, so that's why I'm not going through to see them like on response. I just want to like know what the actual changes were. Reduce the distance to the opponent on block. So let me just change this up right quick. Opponent, standing block. So no pushback. A lot of times I would do this setup right here. So you still probably want to do that, because if you don't do it and you do nunchuck in their face, you're gonna get hit. Now you see I don't push back at all. Now you're gonna get punished. So a lot of times I would do this setup, then I would do that just for the pushback to keep it safe. So you still want to do that same setup. You never want to do nunchuck at point blank range, because now if you do it, guaranteed punish. You -13, you're probably gonna get launched right here. This here is probably the weirdest change, because it doesn't talk about anything on block, it's just on hit. So while standing 4, as you see, it's +4 on block. It used to be +7, so they brought it down to +4. They nerfed it 3 frames. If you win DSS when you do it, it goes +12 instead of +15, which is so weird. But a lot of times I would confirm that while standing 4, into that right there going to heat. I guess that's not as guaranteed or not as easy to do. I'm sure it's still possible if somebody's mashing and they range is wrong, but they took 3 frames away, which makes no sense, because on block it's -4. So let's see. Yeah, +4 on hit, but then let's see. -4 on block, and then DSS is +4 on block. That's such a weird, I don't really understand that change. Like, I don't really remember anybody complaining about while standing 4, unless they want you to just utilize while standing 3, which is still +16, but that's his only real mid in that scenario off of Wild Rising. I mean, you got that one, but you get punished for that if you do that. If you throw it out there and it's on block, you can get killed for that. So I don't really understand that change. It's a weird nerf. The only one I don't like, but yeah, while standing 4 is now -4 on block and only +4 on hit, and DSS +4, and then on hit, DSS is +12. That's such a weird change. I don't really understand that change at all, but while standing 4 got nerfed. Weird. So then we got slide damage got nerfed from 20 to 17. You can't see it on screen, but slide damage got nerfed from 20 to 17. During Dragon Charge, DSS 3 got changed from 30 damage to 25. Not the biggest deal, but I mean, I guess so. Got damage nerfed, but I think that everybody damage got nerfed in the game because they want to make more sexy combos. Let's see this on counter hit. Let's see, DSS 4 on counter hit. So let's change this back. Let's change player counter back to counter hit. It says the behavior of the opponent on counter hit has been changed from DSS 4. What does that mean? Did they push it back and you can't pick it up? When you would break armor on that, you can get a follow-up. So I wonder what they mean by this. They fall down on their stomach. I can't remember what they used to do before the patch, so that's gonna be kind of hard to remember. I just don't remember what they used to do before the patch. But that's counter hit. They just fall straight down. Can you still get follow-up? You should be able to get follow-up on that for the most part. I think so. Okay. All right, what else we got left? We almost done here. Jab, standing 1. Adjusted the collision detection with the opponent to mitigate situations where the move will whiff under certain conditions. Okay, so jab should be a little more better. We got down 4-3, expanded the hitbox downward to mitigate instances where the second hit will whiff after the first hit connects. I've seen that happen, so this has got a hitbox expansion to make it land a little bit easier. And then it says FF3 + 4 grab now induces wall splat. Let's see what that means. Let's see. Oh. Wait, so if that does that change my combo routes? So what can I do on that? Hold up, let's see. Wait, so this shortens combos now? That's what I think I'm seeing here. Hold up. Oh, it does. This hurts combo potential. You used to be able to get a whole combo of this. You can get this into like 4-3 nunchuck. Now you gotta kind of treat it like one of them wall ups. They nerfed it. They nerfed the pickup on this. You pretty much gonna have to end with that because you can't get more than this. I guess they just don't want you to use this at the wall as much, but I wonder, can you get it off this still? Hold on, let me see. You still can get that for 55 damage. So if you want that to land, just probably take that into this earlier while using DSS3. Because remember, if you use DSS3, you're gonna drop this like this. You can still do that, but you can't do this no more. Oh, you can do that. Nice. Okay, that's still decent at the wall then. They changed it to where, so wait, does this always work out the DSS3 now? They buffed it. So, okay, the change was in the past, remember when I showed you guys the other combo about using this on the wall? You couldn't do it at the DSS3. Now you can. Let me see. What else can I do out of that? Well, let's see. So we got this. I pressed it wrong one more time. Okay, I'm not mad at the wall splat for the grab since they made it where you can use down back 2+1/1 after DSS3. Now you can actually use that in the combo. So the combo potential is just a little bit different, but that is all of the visual changes as far as what's on here. They made one more correction where from crouching, they would fix the issue where he would jump too fast. I mean, that's not the biggest deal for me, but that is all the visual changes for Law. I didn't want to go into like the counter stuff and all that because I would have been here forever, but that was all the visual changes for Law just to see what's different. So I hope you guys are enjoying season 2. I'm definitely going to like try to switch up my combo potential now that I see that like a lot of properties are different. I'm really surprised by this. I'm gonna do this one more time. Hold up. I'm trying to think what else can I do out of this. If I do grab out of that, what can I do off this is like crazy. So like, hold up. And it's nice because that still gets you big damage. I'm so happy they adjusted that. So it's been some nerfs for Law, but some of the adjustments were better. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope my Law mains are looking forward to season 2. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this Gale Claw and this down 1-2. I'm gonna have a ton of fun with that. Let's see. Let me try to get one more combo off this. How does that work? Yeah, see, that all works now. You're getting 89 damage off that. The fact that you can do down back 2+1/1 after DSS3, that changes a lot as far as getting big damage for him across the wall. All right, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Hope you guys enjoy. See you during season 2.